Welcome to Wrestler Revisited, a show where we go back to a wrestler we've already covered on Crossbody of Work and dive into two more of their matches. My name is Evan.
I am Javier.
This week, we are celebrating the icon, a guy that just his whole vibe looks like he fits around like November. You know what I mean? Like it's the look. He used to look like July, and now he's like November. You know what I mean?
October to December is when this man thrives.
This man thrives. And we know that he is retiring next year in AEW Revolution in March. It is Sting.
It do be Sting. The man who was just gifted Ric Flair by Tony Khan for some reason.
Yeah, I don't fully understand that.
I don't know. I didn't watch Dynamite this past week. As the recording of this, I do not know what happened there. I just know that Ric Flair debuted, and apparently that was the gift that Tony Khan was talking about. Which, you know what? If that's what Sting wanted, sure.
Well, here's the thing. I don't know if Tony Khan knows this because I don't know what rich people know and don't know. People can't be gifts. You can't just give people.
Well,
that's a whole thing. You just can't give people. Like, we no. So when we covered Sting on Crossbody of Work, which you should go listen to wherever you listen to podcasts because it's wonderful. It's not on YouTube because this was before we started doing YouTube stuff. But when we covered Sting, he had a long career. We covered early era Sting, like Blade Runners when he was teaming with the Ultimate Warrior, all the way through kind of his original Surfer Sting run. Then we talked about his turning into the Crow Sting in our part 2. And then in part 3, it was all his time in WWE as well as TNA. Today, we add one more TNA match onto his repertoire, but also an AEW match. Because now it's been long enough that we actually have access to some AEW matches.
Yeah. He's had like 20 tag matches or something like that in AEW, and he's won them all.
Yeah, Sting cannot be trifled with.
Death, Taxes, and Stinger winning a match.
It's funny because like I feel like other people would be mad about like, hey, Sting is like dominating, but we're all like, nah, fuck it, it's Sting. It's fine.
Yeah,
he's cool.
He's not in any real feuds.
No, he's just Darby's cool uncle.
Yeah, they're not challenging for any titles. Like they're just they get if people don't like him, so they fight him.
That's right. Sting's last loss was to Seth Rollins at Night of Champions 2015.
So you mean to tell me that Sting has been undefeated for 8 years?
8 years. Yeah,
I like that.
Sting can't be stopped.
If I'm him, I'm going out on top too. I'm telling Tony, listen, I don't care what you have to do, but I don't care who I retire against, but I have to win that match.
I feel like we need to talk about this because one of the reasons we're doing this is because Sting is going to retire. And let's talk about this right off the hop. Who should be the one to retire Sting?
Everyone's going to say Darby, but like I know Darby doesn't even want to do it.
It's because it's the right answer.
Yeah, but he doesn't even want to.
I don't. If Kurt Angle has to get retired by Baron fucking Corbin, too bad, Darby. You're retiring Sting.
I also don't know if he's going to be able to because he's doing the Everest climb next year, so I don't know if he'll be available for that by that
insane. Point. Okay, well then who should it be instead?
Fuck it. Card Blade. It's just it's difficult. I would say
Hook.
Samoa Joe.
But like, and that's the thing is the question is this: retiring Sting in his final match, does it have the rub that it matters for other people when you know he's going out?
Also, he doesn't want a singles match either, so it's got to be a tag. So I'm assuming he's tagging with Darby. So who does he tag against is the real thing.
FTR? Maybe.
I don't know if they've done that match yet, but
the Bucks,
the Guns.
Yeah, they have done the FTR match. It was at Dynamite Grand Slam in 2021,
and they won.
They did.
Look, I don't know. My guess is, if I had to guess anything, I would assume it's a tag team match, and I do not know who it would be against. But
better than you, baby.
I think they should win. Genuinely,
and Sting goes out on top, undefeated in AEW.
It'd be fucking hilarious.
It would be kind of hilarious. All right, our first match is at TNA Sacrifice, and this is a very weird match. You and I texted about this before we started recording. So
I don't like this.
It is an Ultimate Sacrifice match at Sacrifice 2009. So each person in the match has to put something on the line that is an ultimate sacrifice to them. So our 4 competitors, we have Sting, who's putting up his career, which, spoilers, he's not going to lose. Yeah. We have Mick Foley, who's putting up the TNA World Heavyweight Championship.
Which, spoiler alert, does not look good.
We have Jeff Jarrett, who's putting up his voting shares in TNA. And we have Kurt Angle, who's putting up leadership of the main event Mafia on the line. So whoever gets pinned, that person who pins them gets that thing. So if Sting pins Jarrett, he has controlling shares in TNA.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's whoever does the pinning of the person gets that thing.
All right, that makes sense. Now that you explain that, I watched this without commentary, not because I wanted to disrespect Mike Tenay or anything, but because it was like 8 a.m. and my girlfriend was sleeping, and I didn't have my AirPods on, and I didn't want to get up, so I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna put the volume up just one tick over mute, and we're gonna go from there.
Sting is part of the main event Mafia at this time with Kurt. What is your favorite Sting TNA era?
Joker Sting. I can't believe that there are people who don't think that's amazing. No, Joker Sting is great. I actually like main event Mafia Sting. Like he slicks his hair back a little bit more, and he looks so fucking cool.
It's flatter.
He's just cool. I don't know how to explain it. He just looks cool.
What'd you think of the match?
It's honestly better than I thought it would be.
I agree. I thought it was going to be the drizzling shits.
This is like a fever dream watching, by the way. Like, Mick Foley is the TNA champion.
I
did not know who was who.
He emerges from the bleachers.
What. Yeah, so the match starts. Kurt Angle's skinny as fuck.
Kurt is really slim down. Also, Mick is pretty slim down, too.
Yes, but Mick is the TNA World Champion. What the fuck is going on?
I don't know, man.
He's also like tapped apparently because his mannerisms are giving tapped.
The match
Jeff Jarrett
is
Jeff Jarrett.
Jeff Jarrett's fine. Jarrett and Angle are in the ring. Sting and Foley are at ringside. Angle gets an early angle slam attempt, but it gets turned into a DDT for a 2. We get in the ring. Sting with an early Scorpion Deathlock attempt, but Foley rolls over and kind of like kicks him out.
And honestly, it looks like he tripped. It looked like stick trimmed.
Sting and Foley brawl through the crowd while Angle and Jarrett just have a normal wrestling match in the ring where Angle is fucking dominating.
Yes. There's like a split camera shot and it's like 2 eyeballs. Look at things.
It's weird.
I don't like that.
I didn't like it. That's one thing that always, like, whenever I was watching TNA or I see clips of TNA, I was like, this isn't WWE production.
No, yes, absolutely.
Just little things like that. I'm like,
It just you could do the split screen, just split the screen. You don't gotta just give me 2 squares.
It's right there in the name. Screens. Split the screen.
Why the fuck is it in like eyeballs that like are straight out of Goosebumps?
Goosebumps, too spooky for me. Jarrett locks in a figure 4, and that's when Foley and Sting make their way back to the ring.
Sting. So my favorite spot Foley hits a power driver to Sting on the ramp. Kurt puts an ankle lock on Jeff Jarrett, and then my favorite spot in the history of pro wrestling happens. Mick Foley gets into the ring, hits the ropes opposite, like he hits the ropes like that. That Angle has the lock on Jarrett. The ropes directly in front of them because it's a 6-sided ring. Is the one that Foley hits. And you would think, oh, maybe he's going to hit an elbow drop. Maybe he's going to hit a flying crossbody. Some that break up the hold. Maybe a drive-by clothesline.
Yeah.
He just drops out and puts a mandible claw on Jeff Jarrett.
With the sock on, but they can't call it Mr. Socko because that's clearly trademarked by WWE. So
he put a mandible claw on.
So it's just the sock. Well, he has the sock on his hand, though.
He hit the ropes and put the mandible claw on.
It's absurd. It's an absurd thing.
Kurt Angle has the ankle lock on.
It's a lot happening. Poor Jeff Jarrett.
He just leaves, gets on commentary.
Yeah, so Foley just leaves. Angle hits an overhead belly to Jarrett, and Foley says he needs a breather and lets the rest of them wear each other out. Jarrett hits a pedigree with no reaction.
The ugliest pedigree I've ever seen.
Foley says he's taking a rest to Rooney. So shout out to Booker. Top rope superplex by Jarrett to Angle. Sting with the save. Sting and Angle then working together on Jarrett. Stinger splash to Jarrett, though. Jarrett dodged the clothesline. Angle clothesline Sting instead. And so the main event Mafia guys having a little bit of beef.
Germans to Jarrett. Sting confronts him, so Kurt starts giving him some German suplexes. Ankle then notices Foley on commentary.
Kurt gets possessed. This is fucking outstanding. So Kurt all of a sudden just like glazed eyes and just notices that Foley's just standing there or sitting at ringside at commentary. And so Foley or Angle just gets out of the ring very calmly and just stands in front of commentary and then just jumping senton into Foley on commentary between Don West and Mike Tenay.
Do you think it's because Foley kind of looked like a Percocet? Anyways, back suplex on the floor by Kurt.
Out of bounds.
Jarrett hits the stroke on just, I don't even know. Fucking, was it Foley that he hit it on?
Jarrett hitting the stroke. Yes.
He hits it on Foley, I think, because Kurt comes in, hits an angle slam on him, and then Sting puts on the Scorpion Deathlock on Kurt. Kurt gets out of it pretty quickly. He puts an ankle lock on, and Kurt gets pulled into the ref.
Yeah, Foley does the front roll out of the ankle lock and hits the ref.
Sting hits Scorpion Death Drop. He gets a visual count, but there's no ref up, so he can't.
Sting
Jarrett comes through,
clocked with a guitar.
Jeff Jarrett, 1,000 broken guitars, not a single dollar drawn.
Gets the visual pin on Sting. Foley hits a clean chair shot to the head of Jeff Jarrett and does get 2 counts because the ref is up by then. We get a splash by Angle on Foley. It's broken up by Stinger. And this is where I realized that guitar, clearly like a gimmicked guitar, and the amount of just like shards of wood through the ring. It's everywhere.
I want to know how many guitars he broke during his TNA run.
I bet there's someone like just on TV.
It's over 100.
Yeah. Oh, the over under is 175.5.
That's a good number.
It's a good line. It's a good
number. And not a single dollar was drawn from that. So the frog splash happens. Ankle locks to Jarrett, and then Sting comes through, so he puts an ankle lock on Sting as well. So he's got 2 of them going on his arms. Jarrett gets out of it, or they get out of it. Jarrett hits the stroke at one point from the middle rope onto a chair that was set up, but they roll 2 different directions. So the chair is set up in the middle of the ring.
Yeah,
Jarrett hits the stroke, falls to Jarrett's right. He falls to his right, so he's on the opposite side. Angle falls on the other side of the chair, rolls that way. So Jarrett is kind of loopy. He's not able to get there. Sting just gets into the ring.
Sprints.
Yeah, sprints, slides right in, immediately pins Kurt Angle. 1, 2, 3. He wins the match,
which means he becomes the leader of the main event Mafia.
You know what's crazy? He doesn't become world champion.
No, the world title is technically on the line in this match, but he doesn't become world champion. Instead, he becomes the leader of the main event Mafia. How did the main event Mafia change when Sting took over?
I don't even fucking remember, man. For those who want to know, there's a great hour-long, those playlists that WWE puts out of running down story. Like they did one for the Bloodline, where it's all the Bloodline segments and ends of matches and stuff. TNA did the same thing for the main event Mafia. Go watch it. It's great. For the first 30 minutes, it's fun,
and then it gets unfun.
Then there's another hour and a half.
Oh my god! All right, our other match that we're covering this week is a recent AEW match, Forbidden Door 2022. We had a 6-person tag that was supposed to be an 8-person tag. Yeah, because remember, it was supposed. So our competitors are Sting and Darby Allin, of course. He has to take his adopted son everywhere. It's his weekend, so he has the kid. Stop asking about it, Sharon. And they're with Shingo Takagi, which is very cool. They're up against El Fantasmo and the Young Bucks. It's originally supposed to be Sting, Darby Allin, Shingo, and Tanahashi.
Oh, yeah.
And Hikuleo is supposed to be on the other side. Now, for those who are unaware in terms of, New Japan and Japanese wrestling, I would like you to describe Shingo Takagi for them.
My goat. No, I love Shingo. So Shingo...
You do love Shingo.
He's very barrel-chested. I love all barrel-chested wrestlers. They're all incredible for some reason. He, honestly, is... If you've seen Tanahashi, he's kind of like Tanahashi, except he doesn't really... He's a more grounded version of him, I would say.
Yeah.
But if I could compare him to anyone in America, probably like who's really good and just like borderline maybe like a Drew McIntyre type.
That's fair. Yeah, no, that's actually a really good comp. I think that's an accurate comp. Like this era Drew,
Like a
not
like a main event, could be a champion. He hangs around the scene, an incredible wrestler, like very regarded very highly, but not the guy.
What about El Fantasma?
Kira Tozawa.
But Canadian.
Yeah, I love LP, but LP is not serious at all.
You don't get to be serious if you have a mullet like that. That's against the rules.
I don't even like genuinely. I don't think like Chad Gable, but like before he became serious in this feud with Gunther.
If you like souped up that douchebag version of Gregory Helms, I think it would become El Fantasma. Does that make sense?
Yes, I do, but I genuinely, I think it's like Chad Gable when he was like just all in on the shoosh and the freaking like just jokes, where like you have to take him seriously because he's Chad Gable. Like,
he's good,
yeah. But also like he's just doing this whole like gimmick where he's kind of an asshole who's over the top. That's LP.
Let's talk about the entrances here. So like Darby comes in the skateboard, Shingo's looking cool. And then Sting's entrance happens, and Sting doesn't appear. We're like, oh, that's weird.
Yeah, you just see the Bucks come out because the bloodline. Wow, the Bullet Club comes out.
Yeah. So out come El Fantasma and Hikuleo and the Bucks. Then lights go out during their entrance.
Camera kind of pans up a little bit.
So at first you see the rafters, and a spotlight goes up, and you see Sting. You're like, oh shit, Sting's in the rafters. He's back in his home. You know, that's where Sting comes from. If your kids are asking, you know, where does Sting come from, and you want to have that awkward conversation, he comes from the rafters. When a mommy and a daddy love each other very much and are both into goth music, they hang out, and then a Sting comes from the rafters. But actually, Sting's not in the rafters because we get back to the entranceway. And we pan up, and Sting is on top of the entranceway, and he cross-bodies the Bullet Club. I remember I wasn't watching this live. I was like, I'm going to watch it on the replay tomorrow. I had something that night. And I checked Twitter while I'm out, and I just see everyone be like, Sting's fucking insane. And I was like, oh no, what did Sting do? And I see this clip, and I was like, that's outstanding.
You know what's funny as shit to me is he has had like 20 odd matches with AEW. Yeah. I swear to God, in like at least a quarter of them, he's dived off the top of the entryway into someone.
Darby Allin is a bad influence.
Okay, he really is.
Darby Allin's like, hey Sting, you know, it'd be fucking cool. What if you just dove off this thing? And Sting's like, I've been doing this for like 40 years. I don't think I need to.
Spinal stenosis.
And Darby's like, it'd be real cool if you did. And then Sting's like, God damn it, you're right.
Son of a bitch, I'm in.
Like Sting's gonna start smoking because of Darby. Like,
I don't think Darby smokes.
I don't think he does either. But if Darby told him he'd look really cool, Sting would be like, God damn it.
Darby's like really healthy. Like he's like a really healthy human being. Aside from the fact that he like tortures his body.
Thank you. I was gonna say there's a caveat you have to add with like Darby's really healthy, except for the fact that he tries to like actively fuck his body up.
He is always like, yeah, I do like fucking 6 hours of PT every day. Pretty much, like
it reminds me of the people who are like health influencers, and they're like, yeah, like I eat super like clean and vegan, and I'm at the gym, and then I'm like, and then I also like do ketamine on the weekends. And it's like, yo, that's not a balanced lifestyle.
It's like, yeah, I do all this stuff, and then I throw myself onto a bed of nails,
just for vibes. So yeah, this is how it starts. Also they're calling the team Dudes with Attitude because that's a throwback to a Sting team with a bunch of other guys. I don't remember who was all on that team, but I think it was like the Road Warriors. I think it was Luger. Like that was like that era.
Was it Sting's Squadron? Like maybe. Shingo and Sting at one point here are like copying each other's offense on it. Well, Sting is just mimicking everything Shingo does to LP back onto LP. Like I think there's a leg drop that Shingo hits, so Sting decides to hit a leg drop, or maybe it was a senton, something like that.
The Dudes with Attitude were Sting, Luger, Paul Orndorff, the Steiners, the Junkyard Dog, and El Gigante, aka Giant Gonzalez.
Why are there so many people in this?
Because there are so many dudes who have attitudes.
This is fair. Scott Steiner, dudes with attitude. That is a
Agreed.
that tracks.
Yeah.
That one works.
Paul Orndorff.
So the Bucks get good offense on Darby, ending in a tope con hilo by Nick Jackson when Matt does the rope thing because they are very extra. My favorite spot of the match is when LP does a whole bunch of flippy shit. Like he does like the kip up thing where you do a handstand kip up. He does cartwheels. He does a lot of stuff, and he just goes to Darby in the corner and hits a back rake.
I fucking hated this spot.
LP is the GOAT. You stop it.
This back rake spot that happens twice, because then after LP does it, I think it's Matt does it.
Yeah, Matt does it.
I hate
Matt does it like a heel or babyface. He does it.
I don't care. They're like, it's just
heat.
Evan. It just appeals to my old man sensibilities.
It's provocative.
It
gets the people going.
You're right, because my 67-year-old ass was like, just hit the move.
What did you want him to hit?
Hit him with offense.
The Bullet Club is being so eccentric right now because this was the Bucks in their eccentric as hell era, like just after Kenny left or went out with the injuries.
Baron Von Raschke would never do this. But no, yeah, they're being super weird.
There's a 3-way delayed dropkick in the corner to Darby, who's in the Tree of Woe. Darby hits a Tree of Woe released German suplex to LP.
Because LP climbs on top of him with his foot on his nuts. And then Darby just does a sit-up and German suplexes him off the top rope, which was outstanding.
Hikuleo takes out Sting.
Yeah, what a dick.
It was kind of fucked up because Shingo is right there. It does nothing.
Does nothing.
If Shingo gets a hot tag, it's kind of boring, not gonna lie. But he wipes out the Bucks. He fakes. The craziest thing was, so he gets LP, or I think it's LP. He fakes doing a front suplex, like he's gonna do a front suplex, and then he drops him and hits like a fucking sweeping suplex.
That was to Nick. He does. Yeah, he fakes a vertical and then does like a twisting suplex. It was awesome.
I was like, oh, this is the coolest shit ever.
Shingo also hits a pop-up Death Valley driver, which was awesome. Tags in Sting. Sting with some strikes to both Jacksons. LP tries an axe handle from behind. Sting sells it. And that's where I noticed that he has this tag sticking out the top of his shirt because Sting wrestles in a t-shirt now. And he's just got his little tag sticking out the top, which is
every match is a t-shirt, which is great.
Pet peeve of mine.
Do you rip that off?
No. Like, if I see other people, there's a certain limit. Obviously, like strangers, I fucking won't. But if I even know you remotely and I see your tag sticking out, I will come up to you like, do you mind if I just like fix this for you?
Okay, but like they clearly just don't notice, you know.
But they should.
Sting's out here no selling, kicking ass. Stinger splashes to everyone. Hikuleo gets a distraction off, which allows LP to hit the most exaggerated low blow I have ever seen in my life.
Yes, it's a lot. This is after
he goes hand movements and them just.
This is after he goes for the nipple twister that Sting also no sells.
I love LP.
Darby hits an over the shoulder like stunner.
A little backpack stunner. Love it.
Nice. Young Bucks decide to start a super kick party, of course. Sting just eats a double super kick and then double clotheslines them. Huge pop for eating the super kicks.
Yes. Matt gets his knees up on a Darby Allin coffin drop. The Bucks hit more bang for your buck, which ends in a beautiful looking like Uso splash from El Phantasmo.
Yeah. Takagi makes the saves. We get stereo suicide dives to the outside by the Bucks. LP's up top, moonsault onto Takagi and Darby at ringside. Everyone's at ringside. Sting's going to go for a dive because Sting has been influenced by Darby Allin far too much. It's like parents who are like, my kid's my best friend, and then they just let the kid get away with everything. That's Sting and Darby.
It's like one of those teen movies where the dad like tries a little too hard to be cool.
Sting is the mom from Mean Girls. That's what this is. You guys need anything? Snacks? A fucking ladder to jump off of? Let me know. Outstanding.
Crack. And then
Sting gets triple super kicked because of course he does.
Yes. The Bucks go for a BTE trigger. Sting avoids it. It grabs both of the Jacksons, hits Scorpion Death Drop, while LP is just in the corner celebrating
because he thinks that the BTE trigger has been hit. That's what he thinks is happening behind him.
Sting low blows LP.
How dare you skip by the fact that he also nipple twisters him? The most devastating maneuver.
Darby hits a coffin drop to Hikuleo on the outside. Shingo gets into the ring, and then that's when you know business is over. When Shingo Takagi's in the ring and pissed off, business is done. He hits mad forearms to LP, turns him inside out with a lariat for a near fall, gets him set up, hits his finisher made in Japan. 1, 2, 3. The dudes with attitudes win the match.
You know, I didn't realize until you told me that Sting hasn't lost in AEW.
Yeah, he's like 20-something-0.
I had no idea that he was. So I'm watching this match. And I was like, I don't remember who wins this match. But now that you've said it, I'm like, oh yeah, it's always Sting.
It's always Sting. It's literally always
Sting. Sting's obviously Sting's tagged with Darby a lot.
Yes.
Sting's first match with Darby. Do you remember who it was against?
Revolution
2021.
Oh my! Was it the Jericho? No, they didn't have the Jericho Appreciation Society then.
No,
so it wouldn't have been 2.0. Was it? I have no idea, honestly.
Brian Cage and Ricky Starks.
Team Taz.
Some interesting people that Sting has teamed with: CM Punk, the Hardys, Shingo Takagi, of course. He's teamed with Miro, the Great Muta, Keith Lee, Orange Cassidy, Naito, Hook. Sting's just like collecting all the people on the internet love. And then also CM Punk is there. Because we are indifferent to CM Punk, I think, right now.
Oh, my God. That's a good one.
I am going to be really sad when Sting retires. Because I also think of all wrestlers, the person who I think I believe them when they say they're going to retire is Sting.
It's hard for him to say, it's hard to like think that it's not going to happen. Like he's so old at this point. No like shade to him. Like, you know, long career, he's great. But it's like at a certain point, your body just can't keep doing this. And I think he's reached the point where he's like at peace with it, but also Darby might die in Mount Everest. So he's like, I don't want to be here for that.
Sting will be, I believe, if I'm doing my math right, 65 years old by the time Revolution.
Damn, he's older than my dad. What the fuck?
And he's out there diving onto the Young Bucks, doing nipple twisters. Honestly, shout out to Sting for having so many distinct eras in his career.
My favorite thing about Sting is that he just doesn't take himself too seriously.
He's down for the goofy shit. Like, as much as I don't like the back rake spot, he's down for whatever. The nipple twisters.
He'll do that. He's down it's to more so like he doesn't take himself too serious. Like, even his character, like, whatever. Like, some people, like fucking Hogan. Hulk Hogan is way too serious about the Hulk Hogan character. Like, he's got to do everything that makes him look strong. Like, Sting doesn't care whether he looks weak or strong.
No.
Sting just wants the best end product for everyone to enjoy.
I also like the fact that, like, obviously, compared together are Sting and Undertaker, right? Undertaker's like, I live the gimmick. I do the gimmick all the time for 30 years. Nobody knows when I'm out of character. Sting's like, yeah, I'll fuck around. I don't care. Sure.
Yeah, Sting is the gimmick.
I'm going to be the Joker.
The gimmick is Steve Borden.
I like Steve Borden. I enjoyed going back and watching these. That sacrifice match was a trip. Like you said, it sounds like a fever dream. But the Forbidden Door match was really fun. Go watch either of those. Go listen to our Sting episodes. They're available wherever you get your podcasts. They're episodes, I think, like 119 to 121. So
something like that.
Go and check out all of our stuff about Sting. You should also check out Javier on social media, wherever he tells you right now.
I'm on the Twitter machine at JMelloSports. Lob the boy a follow.
You can follow me there as well. @Ed7Gomes, ITSEVANGOMES. But most importantly, hit subscribe. Like the video. We've got lots of good content. We're in the middle of our 3-part series on Edge. Also, go to fullpressshop.com. Cop the merch. Support the boys. Javier is showing off our Blockbuster tee right there. Yes, a Chingy reference to end an episode about Sting.
Another way you do that right there.
It's Stingy. We'll be back soon with another Revisited. Before you know it, we will talk to you then.
Sting!